Hey guys, it's me, Lacie, and you are tuned in to LACIEOLOGY. All right, so today we have Tavia, who is literally my favorite person in the whole world, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Hi, y'all. My name's Tavia, also known on Instagram as Afro Choco Gemini, and also known as the creator of We Are Not a Trend 365.
So real quick before I'm gonna jump into our topic because our topic's really cool today, but I want to know what is We Are Not a Trend.
So I started We Are Not a Trend because growing up, and especially when I got into like my teenage years, colorism was really big to me. I noticed in like being that I'm a creator, like in the media, you didn't see a lot of people that look like me. Like representation of darker black females was just not out there, or not even just darker females, unique females. It
Right.
was always this image. And so I started We Are Not a Trend because I got into a debate with my best friend and she was like, I just don't think that's a big of a deal. And I'm like, it's because you're light skinned. And she's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, yes. I was like, you don't understand the struggles that I go through because of the color of your skin, which is not your fault. It's just how
Right.
everything's programmed. So I wanted to create a safe place for women of darker pigment and also women of all color who are unique and who are different, who set the bars, models with tattoos, curly headed albinos, like all things. And I wanted to create a platform where we can all bring positive light and support each other and share our trials and our tribulations and the things that we went through.
I love it. And honestly, I don't even I'm from Southern California, so nobody looked like me. Like there were no other black people. It was like they were Spanish and then my family. But I didn't think of like colorism until I moved to the South. And I remember black girls were having an argument about who was better, dark skinned girls or light skinned girls. And I was so confused. And I was like, aren't we all?
This
And
is a
they were
real
like, no.
argument.
Yes. And then somebody was like, well, or somebody mentioned me, like, why are you even in like, in this conversation? You're brown, you don't have a vote. And I was like, what? And they were like, no, it's about light skinned girls and dark skinned girls. And I never knew that.
I
Like,
even went through that, like when I was standing up for dark skinned girls, and they would be like, "Tavia, but you're barely dark skinned," and I'm like, but then you go into the light skin world, and they'd be like, "This is my dark skinned friend Tavia."
right.
So it always was like this thing. It was like, well, where do you fit? Where do we all fit? I thought we were all just black women.
Yeah. All right. So we talked about We're Not a Trend, and I love We're Not a Trend. If you guys don't follow Tavia, make sure you guys follow her on Instagram. If you guys are watching this video on YouTube, we're going to put her handle somewhere on the screen. And if you guys are listening to it again, tell them where they could find you.
You can find me at Afro Choco Gemini and We Are Not a Trend 365.
That's where you guys can find her on Instagram. And now we're going to jump into our topic about divine femininity. And I really wanted to talk about this with you because you're so divinely feminine. Like there's feminine, yes, because there are women. There's also feminine energy, but there's something that's like it's different when it's like divinely feminine, if that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense to y'all. It makes sense to me. And I just want to know for you, what does it mean to be like divinely feminine?
To me, I think it's just about being like embracive of yourself, of your flaws, of your great things, and also being abrasive to other women. I think that's the problem. We lose it. We think that self-love is all about just being so into us when it's really about learning how to allow other people to feel that energy to be positive. Like if you look at my DMs, I compliment women all day, like, you're so powerful, you're so strong, like, you're so dope. And I
Yeah.
share them all day because I just think it's so cool, like when we can come together and we just like support. Being a woman is already hard enough,
Right.
so it's like, why make it harder on each other?
Right.
And so I just really think it's about having that positive energy, having that amazing light in yourself, accepting yourself at all aspects. So that's what it definitely means to me.
I feel like honestly, growing up, my mom was just like she just embodied everything that was like feminine energy to me. And I loved it. And I was just like, this is me. I'm you. We are we are like, we're a thing. Cause I have aunts and I have aunts that weren't always aunts. And people are feminine, but I feel like when you walk through a room, you have just a different kind of aura. There's a little
Hmm.
something different or a little something more intimate about you as a person, and I think that's what makes femininity divine. And I definitely feel like there's a lot of people who like want to be like they act like
Well,
they're
yeah, like they think that like they do the crystals and the
Yeah.
sage, and it's like, but you're still miserable and you're still a very mean person.
Right.
Like you're still a very catty woman, and it's
Yeah.
like we put on, because it's cool now. Like everyone wants to be like super spiritual and super in touch, and it's like, for me, I'm just me. If I
Yeah.
have a moment where I want to light some sage, I am, but I'm not going to say I do it every day.
Right.
If I have a moment that I want to get on my pole, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm
Yep.
just me. Like, I'm just going to be whatever makes me happy.
And very feminine doing it. And with the people, I have always been more spiritual than anything. And if people know me personally, then they know that, right? But something about people who like burn sage kind of grinds my gears because it's like you're not any more divine than the rest of us. You're not any better. You're not any closer to nature. You don't even go outside. Like, I'm so confused. I'm so confused about. Yes. Okay. So, why do you think it's important for Black women, particularly, to protect that like divinely feminine energy?
I think it's so important because honestly, I feel like the world itself puts Black women in this box. Like, when it comes to just being different or being in touch with yourself, it's like we're not really looked at as those type of
Right.
people. I feel like they put us in these different categories. Like we can't be in tune with ourselves. Like we don't know how to be positive. And I think it's just so important that we start changing the narrative
Right.
of what Black women are, Black relationships, everything, because it's not how I would like to be presented.
I think you're right. I think for Black women, we fell into the stereotype because historically we've always been more nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
We've always been more patient. We've always been more in tune with our emotions. Like we've always been these things. But then there's a narrative placed on us, and fast forward however many years, now we really do think that we're supposed to be more aggressive. We're supposed to be overly independent. We're supposed to be like chip on our shoulder for no reason at all. Like it's just a thing. To be a Black woman, for whatever reason, stereotypically, it means that you cannot be in tune with yourself. You can't have like you can't take pride in yourself. And I mean like genuine true pride, not that I'm proud.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But that thing where you're able to just be comfortable in your skin, doing you. And I really wanted to talk about this with you because you're just like, I am me. It doesn't matter what room I'm in or who I'm around. I'm still going to be the same divine person that I am. I'm still going to be that, like, you're just this, like, you just have this great aura that you don't misplace depending on like who you're around. You're always just yourself. And I love that. It's true. And I feel like for Black women, because we have fell into like the stereotype, I think it's important for us to remind ourselves and remind each other that you don't have to be what they said you were, because naturally you're not that.
No.
We walk around so miserable. We walk around like feeling pitiful for ourselves because we are not who we are supposed to be. We're who they told us that we are. And it's just not. Come on, ladies. Come on, ladies. It's okay for Black women to just be ladies. It's okay for us to hurt. It's okay for us to cry. It's okay for us to go through things. Like it's for me, that's okay. I hate that we fell into the trap of not being able to do that.
And I hate it too. And I feel like another thing they place on us is like that we can't be multifaceted. Like we either have to be hard or we have to be super soft. Like we either have to be the aggressive, independent, or the subservient, submissive. And it's like, why can't we be different things in different times, like for different reasons? It's really hard, and I hate it. Like sometimes I have talked to my friends and I'd be like, what? Like the things that they say. And I know it's just from natural programming that a lot of Black women don't even see as happening.
Right.
Like, even to the point of dating, like, well, I don't want to be too angry because we're already looked at as angry. If I'm mad, I'm mad.
Right.
Like, if I'm mad,
you did something dumb.
I'm mad.
Right.
If I'm sensitive, I'm sensitive. It's like, I get to be what I want to be as long as I'm being my true self. And you're not going to make me feel bad about being that. And you're not going to make me act a certain way because this is what I'm supposed to be as a
Right.
Black woman.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I worked at a clinic, and we got this new like front desk receptionist, and she was a slightly older white lady, and she was just like not a nice person. Like she would kind of seem like she's nice, but you could just tell she just was not a nice person. And I am, and I so I just be chilling for real, especially at work. And so I think I went into like the kitchen one day, and I saw cut cantaloupe on top of the fridge, and I was like, "Hey guys, do you guys know that you guys left your fruit on top of the fridge?" And it was hers, but she took that as like me like coming at her. But I was just confused. I've never seen somebody cut cantaloupe and put it on top of a fridge. I was confused.
Open fruit.
Legit. It was like in a container with the lid off. I was confused. Anyways, so after that, she like just didn't like me for whatever reason because she felt like I called her out, and she made me feel uncomfortable going to my own workspace. So some days I just wouldn't go to work at all. Like I would work from home, and I emailed her one day, and I was just like, "Hey, I'm not sure exactly what I did to offend you or make you upset, but I'm sorry for it. I really would like us to be able to work together and me not feel uncomfortable because sometimes I feel uncomfortable with you." That is what my email said. I'm not even kidding. Like you as a as a Black woman, you kind of know now there's a way that you address things to white ladies because they get to be sad and we don't.
Yes.
Okay. So I did that. Literally the next day, the director emails me and she's like, "You can't come at people like this." And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "You really offended her. She felt like you were being too aggressive." And like, if I printed that email off right now, I just don't want to be uncomfortable. So we need to just figure out what we can do. Like, whatever I did, let me know so I don't do it again. Literally, she was like, "Yeah, you just hurt her feelings when you said that." And I was like, does anybody care that in my email I said I feel uncomfortable with this person
And
at
have
work?
felt for some time.
Literally. So I was upset, and I was just like, I would like to address the fact that I'm uncomfortable now. That I've worked here for 2 years and I've been perfectly fine. I've even been a mediator for you guys, and now this lady has made me feel uncomfortable in my workplace. No one acknowledged that. And I just feel like for Black women, we don't get to be sad. We don't get to be emotional. We don't get to have bad days. We don't get to send emails out to people and say, "Hey, there's a problem."
Respectfully, I don't like your behavior.
Literally. Respectfully. Even in the military.
Respectfully. You know, you always have to start respectfully.
That's a real thing. You guys won't get it. No, but it's true. And I just feel like because of stuff like that, because not only have we subscribed to the narrative, so have other people.
Yes. And it's like every emotion we feel comes with a backlash. Like if we're in tune with our emotions, we're too sensitive. If we're in tune with our bodies and everything, we're too sexual. Like everything is like we're just too much. Meanwhile, other races of women are praised. They can get on the social media, they could be naked, and it's great. We do it, and it's like we're calling for attention.
Legit.
And it's like,
I hate hoes. What?
What?
I'm covered. So, but then this girl over here can do the exact same thing, and oh my God, this is so beautiful. This is so creative.
Yes, even with the pole dancing, like I've noticed that the pole dancers that have gone so viral are not women of color, and then women of color are automatically put in this, "Oh, she must have been a stripper," or "This is a call for it," and it's like. But here it's an art. Yep. Over here on this side, it's an art. It's an expression of creativity. Yep. But on this side, and what's sad is a lot of that negative comes from our own people. Yeah. It comes from our own people. Black men and women, and Black women are the worst. Like if you ever go in the shade room and read the comments, all the negativity is majority Black women. And it's like, do y'all just wake up and find something negative to say?
About us. About each other.
About each other.
And it's like, why? But I feel like that's why it's so important for Black women to protect that, like, to protect us and to like that divinity. Is that a word? Y'all? Let me know. But like that divine thing that we naturally have that we've lost. Like we're so out of tune with who we really are. And I feel like Black women are the only people who are going to be able to save us because the Black men love y'all. Not all of y'all. But some of y'all don't really care. So we got to protect that. All right. So let's talk about something that's on a different scope. You and I are both in the LGBT community.
Yes.
Do you feel like we get a place at the table? Do we have a seat? Like, do very feminine women get to make decisions for us in our own community amongst other women?
No, I don't. And I say this because even with okay, so I am a lesbian woman, always like have been for years. And I've always been very in tune with who I am. I have a lot of like dominant energy.
Mm-hmm.
And like I sit and I have conversations with other feminine women and they're like, "Why do you want these things from your significant other? That's not your role." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "So you don't desire these things?" Maybe, but I'm not going to put it out there. That makes them uncomfortable. I said, well, what about what makes you unsatisfied? When did we start talking about that? Like, what about what makes you unsatisfied? And and it's sad because I feel like, once again, it's only in our Black community because I have white LGBT friends and they're so open and they're so free and they just do what they want.
Yep.
And it's not these like expectations and these norms that are set on them.
Yep.
Because when did when did we ever fall into the natural norms anyways? Like, so now we have to adhere to the heterosexual norms of our
right.
relationships.
Yeah.
Like, it's sad and
It's
I wish we
frustrating.
would do better, and it's like no one wants to talk about it.
No one talks about it.
No one wants to
But
talk
I
about it.
think that even the word androgynous, because we like to use that a lot in the Black LGBT community, but white people that are gay don't have to say I'm androgynous. They just get to be gay.
Gay. I've been in the like white community. I've never just heard them be like stud, femme, aggressive femme, stud. Like I've never. They just like, this is my girlfriend.
Right.
Oh, that's like, and no one asks like,
yes.
well, what she's like. What type is she?
Is she
No
a
one
femme?
asks that in that
Right.
community. Like, it's such a Black community thing. And we were having this argument in the group chat because we were talking about sexual desires and like all the studs were like, I just don't see why you would expect this from us. And I was like, because you're a woman and I like women. And if I wanted to do certain things based on how you think they should go, I'd probably date men.
Right.
Like, so.
Right. Whenever people always to be feminine presenting or a femme means in our community that you don't get to have any masculine traits. And you don't get to get upset. You don't. And especially not upset at a stud. You don't get to yell at one. You
like,
don't.
How you disrespect them and
Right.
belittle them. This is still a woman.
Legit.
Okay? And I'm still a woman. And this woman has hurt my feelings, so I'm about to give her my woman feel.
I'm getting that ass. Yes. But it's like to be a femme for us, it's like you don't get to have that. Like you can't have an array of emotions. You can have different desires. You are just there. I always tell my partner that I feel like people just expect me to just be your arm candy.
Yeah, no.
That's it. And it's like, but I'm not. And then if I voice my opinion and maybe it differs from hers, people are upset. You're not supposed to go against her.
What?
She don't make sense.
It's not making sense to me, so I'm about to go against it.
Yes, like you're ultimately the bad guy because to be a femme means you don't get to have a voice. There's a full table, but there's not a seat for you here. What happens in the LGBT community, especially on our side, the brown side for y'all that are watching, what happens is they get to choose what our norms are. They get to choose the standards. They set the standards. When you see a stud and a femme, you think the stud owns a business and the femme is just her girlfriend. You never think the other way around.
That is switched.
Ever. And it's like, what? Why? Like, why am I just supposed to be somebody's arm candy and that's it? Why can't I have an opinion or a mind or get upset sometimes? Like, I don't understand. Why don't we get to make rules for ourselves?
And then it's like the minute you start making little rules, then they want to throw all these titles on you. Like my friends call me an aggressive femme. I'm like, why do I have to be an aggressive femme? Why I can't just be feminine? And these are the things that I like in the bedroom.
Yep.
Because like, I live alone. I take care of myself and stuff like that. So it's like that my friends make these jokes like, oh, here go Tavia in her Travis mode. That's my stud name apparently. And I'm like, oh, so now because I put my foot down and I've expressed this is what's not going to happen,
Yeah.
now I'm acting like a stud? No, I'm a feminine woman who's telling you this is how you're going to deal with
Right.
me because I don't need you to deal with me. I want you to deal with me.
Yep.
So this is what I require.
Right. But no one talks about that.
No.
And we're not, I have a lot of more like stud friends.
Same.
Because I have a lot of masculine energy. But I'll talk to like my stud friends and they never understand. Like it always is just Lacie ranting about the fact that you guys don't give me a position in my own community. And it's like, it's always the same thing. Like they just don't get it. And then it's like, for me, it's like, how do you not understand? As two women having a conversation, I feel like everything about me is somehow diminished because now you're in the room. Literally, I don't understand it. And that's just to
And
wear a
everything
fucking
is
skirt.
too deep or you're too sensitive. And it's like, when did we stop expressing ourselves? Like, when did we become into this nature of like, we all don't care? Y'all all
Right.
don't care?
None of y'all.
Y'all don't care, but y'all post every meme. Y'all talk every subliminal. We all care. Like, we care a lot about things, but it's like, caring is not cool. And like you said, I'll get on my Instagram, I'll go on my long rants about everything, and they'd be like, here you go. And I'd be like, yeah, because it needs to be said.
Yeah.
And I care. I care about what's taking place. It's made me feel away, and now I'm going to speak on it.
Right. But no, it's fine, guys. It's fine. We'll just stay in our little spot. All right. So we could talk all day about all of these things because no one else talks to us about it. So real quick wrap up. Divine femininity, it's important. I feel like it's important for Black women to hold on to that as much as we can, because society has told us that we're not divine and we're not feminine. And if you are divine or you are feminine as a Black woman, they don't look at you as Black. You like, oh, you're not like black.
Yes, I just said, they'd be like, oh, those are your white characteristics. Since when did being positive or adventurous or interested, like, when did those become characteristics that did not relate to Black people?
Since we let people tell us that, and then we believed it. And then also since, there were rules that said that our grandparents couldn't travel past a certain, but look, no, but it's true. Like, since they told us that we weren't that, and we believed them. And now we're just going around telling each other the same thing. You can't go hiking. You're Black.
Right. I tell that to my friends. They be like, oh, this your white side coming out. I'm like, no, I grew up in a military family. We adventured. We rode dirt bikes. We jumped off cliffs. We did all kinds of stuff. I was like, this is just my side coming out.
Right. And I genuinely feel like Black people, listen to me. If y'all see me, listen to me. Wake up and understand that you're more than just the stereotypes placed on you. Legit Black culture isn't just what everybody keeps telling us Black culture is. That's not it at all. And Black women, it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to be feminine. It's okay to let somebody rub your back because your back hurts. You don't need to walk around with a hurting back because you need to, for whatever reason, make it seem like, I got this. I can carry this pain. I've carried other pain. I'm good. I'm not hurting. I'm fine. No, you're not. No, you're not. And it's okay in my mind, it's okay to say that you're not fine and let somebody take care of you. And in the process, take care of yourself.
Yes. And Black women, it is okay to be multifaceted. You can be the party girl and the businesswoman. You can wear the sexy stripper heels and the flats. You can do it all. And don't let anyone tell you that you have to be in a box. And don't let anyone's negative connotation of what you do with your life decide who you are going to be.
Right. Ooh, that was good. Use it as like a soundbite. All right, guys. So you've tuned into LACIOLOGY, and I really appreciate you guys. This is episode 1 of so many. And you guys also chilled with Tavia today. Please don't forget to follow LACIOLOGY on Instagram. Really follow me at itsme_Lacie. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, we're going to put my handle somewhere on the bottom of the screen. If you're listening to this, understand that you can find this on YouTube. Just type in LACIOLOGY or just go to the Lacie and Freshie Production Show, because this show is brought to you by Lacie and Freshie Productions. And if you guys want to follow Tab, tell them where they can follow you again.
Once again, you can follow me at Afro Choco Gemini for the great content. And you can also follow me at We Are Not a Trend 365 for the amazing movement.
I loved having you.
I love
I'm gonna have you
being
again.
here.
No.
Yes, please bring me back. Bring me back, especially when you talk about the juicy stuff. Bring me back.
We're gonna talk about. I'm not gonna tell you guys what I'm gonna bring her back for, but I'm definitely gonna bring her back. I'm gonna tell her right now when we hang up this line. Bye.
Bye, y'all.